Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Youth Intake Challenge. We've got the intake preview and a bit of an update on where we are, so stick around and we'll see how we're getting on. And just a quick update as we've been filming the videos. We've had an email come through saying Dulwich Hamlet's youth setup has now been recognised among the world's best. So you can see these are the best youth setups in the world. They're star graduates, and if you find down at number 9, lovely number 9, Dulwich Hamlet, we've got 3 additional star graduates to Paul Soggy, who was our best and brightest, which it still pains me to see he's gone. He's only 24 years ahead of him, and the stats on him are phenomenal. So he's there. But what I did find interesting is the 3 additional star graduates, as you can see behind my luscious locks. Is you've got Raheem Primus, who's not yet developed into anything like a wonder kid. Ahmed Sarkodie, who is easily our best player. He's got 29 caps for Ghana. But interestingly, Dimitris Zvingindis is on there, which suggests to me that he might actually be one of the higher potential players in the squad. It might be a little bit of just insight there to keep an eye on this. That if you see it, he might actually be touted as one of the best players. Currently on loan at Leyton Orient, but it gives you a bit of an idea that we might have something special on our hands there, because that would be 2 strikers and it may spark a bit of a formation change. But there we go, 9th in the all-time youth setups. But also domestically, we lead the Premier Division player developments. So we've got 27 players produced. There they all are there, all in our squads currently playing this season. But it just shows that we've got the most. 27 players produced. Man City are second with 26, but it shows we're moving in the right direction. Shows that the youth setup approach is working. I think if we look at the club vision as well, they've included develop players using the youth system, so that's in there as well. So everything is starting to switch back around. Still not doing great at playing defensively solid football, but I'll continue and I'll get back when the next youth intake previews with us. So just a little update. I'll be back soon. And welcome back. We've reached that point in the season where the intake previews come in, and it gives us a chance to reflect on where we are for the season, how we're doing competition wise, and who the best players have kind of been moving forward through the season, who's developed into a first teamer, etc. And to be fair, it's gone really well. So Premier Division wise, we're currently sat in 8th on 23 points, only 10 points off the top, which we're not going to catch West Ham, who are the leaders this season. They haven't been for the last couple, but they've got their names at the top of the table at the minute. But certainly the teams just below that, Norwich and Fulham especially, maybe not so much Newcastle, have won the league in recent years. They're catchable, so there is a chance we can earn ourselves a European spot on league placings, which is good. Sarkodie is our current top goal scorer in the league, which is surprising. He's really thriving in that advanced playmaker role in the middle of the park. And a bit of a resurgence of Jedi Mandanda as well. He's got himself back in that first team setup, playing as an attacking central midfielder, and he's chipping in with a number of goals as well. So that's all positive in the Premier League. Europa League wise, despite us playing youths pretty much the entire time, we've basically used the youth 12, if you call it that, the other half of the team, to play all the Europa League games, and so far they've won most of the games. So I think we've got 5 wins and 1 draw out of the 6 games, puts us in second spot. So it looks like we're going to go through in the top 8. I think there's 2 games to go. I think you play 8. So it's looking like we're probably going to go through that as an automatic to the next round, which is great. Raheem Primus, the top goal scorer in there, despite coming on as substitute for most of the games. So again, hugely positive. FA Cup wise, we've not played a game yet, but we've got a home tie against Peterborough, which should be a winnable game. Carabao Cup, we've been trotting on through nicely. We've even managed to beat West Ham along the way. But we've next got Man United, so that could be a difficult game. And then the Community Shield, which we saw at the start of the season, we came runner-up, so second place in a 2-person competition isn't great, but we'll take it. In terms of the schedule, since that opening game, we lost the first league game of the season to Everton, which was really frustrating because I thought we'd done really well in the Tottenham game. Followed that with a 4-1 win at Man United. Again, a really good result. Then 3-3 with Chelsea, which I actually thought Man United had a better squad than Chelsea as it currently stands, but we rescued a 97th minute point in that game. Jody Mandanda getting his second of the game. We beat Arsenal twice in a row, once in the league 1-0, and then once with a really late Robbie Harris goal in the Carabao Cup, which is fantastic. Newcastle beat us, but that's no surprise. They're quite a strong side. You can see these European games. TNS we beat 3-1. Leibird with 2 and Onyango. Copenhagen, Lippmann, Primus, Sarkodie and Leibird again. Man City beat us 1-0 in the Premier League. Fulham we managed to beat. PSV, Rakim Primus got a hat-trick and Silverio got one as well. Tottenham beat us in the Premier League. Again, they're really good this season for some reason. There's that West Ham game. We beat them 2-1, 2-0 up early on. Uzer and Leibird, and they got consolation. Sunderland was really frustrating because we absolutely hammered them. But we were 2-1 down going into the 90th minute. But Rakim Primus rescued us a point. So frustrating, but it was kind of rewarding to get the point at the end. Puskas we beat 2-1. Primus and Harris with the goals. West Ham, that was a rip snorter of a game. Hat-trick for Sarkodie. As again we rescued another late point in a 4-4 draw. Bournemouth we beat 3-2. A couple late goals. We came from 2-0 down to win that 3-2, so another really good hard won 3 points. Braga was where we slipped up in the Europa League, a 3-3 draw, but we got the goals for Seamus Byrne, Rakim Primus and Silverio. Brighton and Wolves 2 draws. Then we got a Crystal Palace victory, which is against our rivals, which is always tastes nice. Again, we came from a goal down in the first minute to beat them 2-1. And then the last game we played was against AEK Athens, who we beat 4-1 in the Europa League. Seamus Byrne, Gary Leibird with 2 and Patrick Prepper, which just, again, it shows you that the team we're putting out in that competition isn't quite as strong. It leaves us quite a good run in. We've got a good run of Premier League games next. Norwich, Coventry, Villa, before we then come up to Forest, Man United and Newcastle. So I'm expecting us to do all right in the first 3. If we got 3 points from the next 3 after that, like 3 draws or something, or maybe 1 win and a draw, that'd be great as we build towards the end of the season. Looking at the squad, they're all playing really well. I've just extended a number of contracts, so you can see contract expiry. The earliest ones to go is Pepper and Byrne, who go 2049, which is in 2 years' time. But I've actually extended Burns. I've just offered him another one for 5 years, so that should put him on the keepers list as well. Patrick Prepper, not so sure at the minute. I mean, he's a good player to have around. He's 22. He's got some good stats on him. And his dribbling, finishing, first touch is ideal for a striker, but I'm just not sure if he's ever going to get in. And that's because we've got Primus as our first team striker. We've got Leibird who's coming through, but we've also got Svigindis, who was highlighted within the European youth development list as being one of our top players. So he might actually be like 4th or 5th in the pecking order. So I'm not sure. We might sign him on and try and recoup some money from him, but I'm not entirely decided on that yet. In terms of appearances, Ahmed Sarkodie, easily our best player. He's 4.5 star rated. He's signed a new 5-year contract, so we've got him for a long time now. 2052 he goes. There's no release clause in that, so we've managed to get him to stay, unlike what happened to Sog. And I think that his stats just keep getting better and better. He's on a bit of a downward spiral at the minute, probably due to the number of games played, but he's only 22 and we're going to get the best years out of him, so that is hugely positive news. Rakim Primus, again another one. He's got 13 goals so far this season, not so many in the Premier League. He got that hat-trick in Europe, but again he's developing towards that, certainly the 4-star threshold. Whether he can go any higher, I'm not sure. He's not yet touted as being like a wonder kid or anything. Still labelled as the next Michael Owen, and still doing fantastically great. Stats wise, again, his dribbling's not exceptional, but he's got a good turn of pace, and he seems to score some good goals. So he's doing really well. Clifford's doing well at centre half, still our best centre half, injured at the minute, but a fairly consistent player. Jody Mandanda, I mean, he was almost dead and buried in terms of being a first team player, but we've slipped him into a central midfielder attacking role, and he's thriving. So he's got 6 goals this season in 19 games, all 6 of them in the Premier League. He's flying high. He's putting in some great average rating performances. His stats still look pretty good, although not technically gifted in a lot of things. he's got it where it counts, and he's having a really good season. So again, we're going to look to keep a hold of him for a bit longer. He's 29. He's a very experienced player, and he's doing really well. Brustad, he's played a number of games, but we're looking to phase him out now. So you can see Josh Harris at left back. He's playing more and more games. He's up to 2.5 stars. He's only 19. He's not got any Welsh full caps yet, but he plays really well. He's played 4 European games with a 7.12 average. He's played 11 Premier League games with a 6.88. So he is our future left back, and he's actually doing really well at the minute. Silverio has played more than we would have maybe anticipated at the start of the season, but he's putting in some solid performances. And this season he's chipping in with goals. He's got 5 goals and 4 assists, so he's actually outscored Oza as it currently stands. James Carter, he's probably the next highlight. He's at 3.5 stars. I don't know, he keeps putting down his ball winning midfielder, but he's a centre half. Although he's a 4.5 star central midfielder. He's a big. I say tall, he's a bit taller than I am, so I consider that tall. But he's a really consistent performer. He's starting to get in ahead of de Havilland. He's playing alongside Clifford. We're rotating really well, and whether he develops into a ball-winning midfielder in the future, I'm not sure, because he's got the stats for it. I suppose it all depends on how the next few seasons and the development of the other centre-halves go. But again, he's a success story. Some of the other players in there, Samana, he's played a few games but not many, just 5 starts, 4 sub-appearances. He's not got a goal yet, but he's got a couple of assists, so he's doing all right. Other ones of note, we've got a few goals for some of the youngsters in here. So Seamus Byrne, he's got a couple goals. He's developing really well, central midfielder. I see him as a long-term replacement. He's touted to be better than Sarkodie, so if that is the case, we've got quite the player on our hands. But we're just giving him more and more game time as he develops further forward. No huge development for him yet, but he looks like a really good player for the future. And if I can find him, our other young striker, he should be in here somewhere. Here we go, Gary Liebert. That's who I was looking for. He's got 6 goals. He's had 4 starts and 7 appearances, 6 goals, and his stat spread's really good. It's going up, and I just think he probably is the long-term replacement for Primus, or certainly the competition for him in a number of years. His dribbling's miles better. He's not quite got the acceleration, but I actually think he's faster. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops over the next couple of years as well. But that's pretty much the squad sorted out. It's all going really well. The only thing to check now is the preview. So looking at the intake preview, fullbacks and attacking midfielders. I don't know why we keep getting attacking midfielders. It's a bit frustrating because we don't play that formation. But a couple of fullbacks would be nice. One on either side would be ideal. There's 3 centre halves on the distribution on the right hand side. I certainly want at least one good centre half coming through. We need to keep more and more centre halves coming through, because that still continues to be our weak area. But we'll carry on. I'll keep going. I'll get through till March, where the youth intake comes through, and we'll see where we are towards the end of the season. I would anticipate we'll probably be out the Carabao Cup. This is my prediction. Nothing's held in gospel. I'd like to think we're going to have a bit of an FA Cup run this year. I think we'll still be in Europe because we're going to qualify. So unless we really throw away them 2 games, we're going into the next round. So by March time, we should at least be in that one cup, maybe the FA Cup as well. We'll still be chasing down a European spot within the Premier League. So hopefully that served as a good update for you. Hopefully the intake doesn't look horrifically terrible. I think that looks all right. 2 A stars. Obviously, we've had better ones in the past in terms of prediction, but largely this doesn't always entirely match. So we'll see what we get when we come through. Once again, thanks for watching. It's all going good off the back of a trophy-winning season. This season is possibly going even better in terms of league placement, certainly, and we'll see where it can take us. So until next time, take care.